Hello, good morning. It's Sharice here. It's currently 8:15 a.m. on Sunday, I don't even know what day, the 13th? Is it the 13th? The 12th, the 13th? The 13th, I believe. Nola June. No, don't start barking. But I'm getting ready to go to church. Yeah, I'm doing good on my time. I woke up really early. I naturally just wake up early. I think it comes from my job being a teacher. Let me go ahead and tell you what's on my face, and then we'll do the eyes. For my eyes, I plan to only use the Desi and Katie Dose of Colors collaboration, their Friendcation palette. I'm going to use some colors in here that I haven't used yet. So this is the palette we're going to use for the eyes, but my base is done. So as a primer, I've been going in with my Milani Make It Last setting spray. It says prime, correct, and set. So after I moisturize, I've been spraying this on my face and then letting it dry about 90%, and it gets kind of tacky on your skin. And then I go in and apply my foundation. So instead of using like a rub-in primer, I've been using this to prime just to see what it does. And I've actually really been liking it. And I feel like my makeup has more, it looks more like skin-like and dewy as the day goes on, which I kind of like. For foundations, I've been really into mixing foundations just so that I can use some of my less used foundations. Like I'm trying to go through my collection since I'm on a no-buy. And the two that I've mixed today, and one of my favorite combinations, has been the Born This Way foundation in the shade Cocoa, which is a little bit too dark for me, just a little bit, not much, but just a little bit, with the Huda Beauty Fill Filter foundation in the shade Nutmeg 520G, which is, it comes off almost a little bit grayish green on me, like it's too golden. But these two mixed together gives me this, which I really, really, really like. This combination, it looks really, 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 really good in person. Like the color just flows so nice. And this one is more of like a skin-like dewy finish. And this one is a more full coverage, like matte finish. So mixing these together also just gives a beautiful finish to the skin, as you can see. So been loving mixing these two together. After that, I went in and I set my face using a mixture of my Coty Airspun and Suntan and the MAC times Patrick Star Patrick's powder. So I mixed these two together. This one is almost empty, so I've been trying to slowly kind of add it to the Patrick's powder because I like both. But Airspun, like I said, is just the most long-lasting powder on me. So love, love, love Airspun. So these are the two powders I use to set my face. And then to bronze my face up, you see in the hollows and the perimeter of my forehead, what I used is the Black Radiance Pressed Powder in the shade Ebony. You guys know I love this. I love this as a bronzer on my skin because it's a little bit darker than me, and it's a little bit more red toned, like warmer, richer, more richer than warmer. And it just looks really good. Love, love, love that. For highlight, I used the Tribe Highlighter Volume 1 from Juvia's Place. That looks like this, and it's really just gold. It comes off very golden on my skin. Looks really pretty. I have it on my brow bone, cheekbone, bridge of the nose, cupid's bow, the normal areas. For blush, I use one of my favorite Bare Minerals blushes in the shade But First Coffee, and this is their Gin Nude Blush formula. I love this shade, But First Coffee. It is a really nice, deeper, like mauve-y pink, and it looks so good on deeper skin. So that's the blush. And then for my brows, I use my Wet n Wild retractable eyeliner pencil, which I always normally use for my brows. So this is my face so far. Let's go ahead and jump into the eyes. I am hot in here. Here's the palette. And we're going to be focusing on shades I haven't used in here yet, which is only, I think, 3 shades, maybe 4. So I haven't used these 2 light shades right here because they're really pale, but I guess I could use them on my lid for something. I also haven't used this blue purple shade, and I haven't used this shade, but we're going to use this shade today on the lid. But first, I'm going to go into the crease with Girl Bye. this shade right here. This is probably going to be a 2 or 3 shade eyeshadow look. Very simple. I'm going to use the Sigma Diffuse Crease Brush E38. I'm going into that shade Girl Bye, and I'm just going to start to apply this in my crease. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp it on first for some really good pigment, and then I'll go in and blend it out. Not that this shadow needs it, but I feel like it's going to save me time in the end if I stamp it on first. And now I'm just going to blend out the edges. Just like that. I love the way my skin looks like. My base has been coming out really well lately. I feel like part of it is because I've been doing so much like mixing of different formulas and kind of mixing for like a perfect shade match, but not really, more so based on the formulas. All the colors pretty much work for me in all the foundations that I've kept, but sometimes I want to tweak the formula and the finish. And mixing has been an awesome, awesome, amazing way to do that. My shoulder's really itchy. So random. And you guys can see my breakouts have kind of calmed it down a little bit. I do have this one on my chin though. It's annoying. I have one over here. I don't know why it's always my right temple that gets a pimple. My right temple always gets a pimple. Very annoying. All right, now I'm going in blending. I've also switched my skincare up a little bit because I was like having a really bad breakout. I was like, okay, something needs to change. Let me change up the products I'm using, and it's started to really, really clear up and get better. So I'm going to be using what I've got going on for a while. And I've switched to basically mostly Clinique products. Like I love the Clinique Step 2 cleansing lotion, which is really a toner. That stuff is amazing. Every time I'm having a major breakout, that stuff always like clears my face up, which makes me not want to use it like every day or like all the time, like all year long, because I don't want my face to get used to it and for it to stop working. So only when things go south, south, south do I want to use it. I also stopped taking my Tati skin vitamins, the kiwi. And I feel like that's when my skin really started to flip out because that was really helping, I guess, whatever it does, it was working because as soon as I stopped taking it, huge, huge, huge breakout. But I forgot to order more so that I could not have to skip some weeks. So I think I might start taking that consistently because my skin did a lot better while I was taking that. All right. We have our crease set up. Now we're going to go in with the shade Try Me. This beautiful like reddish shimmer. I'm going to put that on my lid. All over the lid, I think. I'm just using my finger to apply it. Yeah, that's pretty. All right, now that I've got that applied to the lid, I'm gonna go back in with Girl Bye, which is the shade that I've already put in my crease with the same brush, and I'm gonna add more of it and do a little bit of blending around the edges of this. They're pretty much the same shade. One is just a shimmer and the other one is a matte. Going back in with Try Me. It's called, right? Yeah. I'm basically just fading the glitter up into the crease. And that is it for the lids. Like I told you, it's gonna be very easy, very simple. I'm gonna take my Sigma short shader brush, which is slowly falling apart. Let me tighten it up. We're gonna take the shade Girl Bye, that matte shade. I'm gonna put that on the lower lash line using this brush. I'm just gonna pack it on. So today I'm actually visiting, well, I've been there before, but I'm going back to the Gold Hill Road Church of Christ. It's in the Fort Mill, TDK area. So it's about 15-ish minutes away from me, but it's in South Carolina. But the way I have to go there is I go through part of North Carolina and then go back into South Carolina. But it's Church of Christ, which is the church I've been raised in. If you've been watching me for a long time, I've talked about the Church of Christ and what it is and how there's a couple different versions of it and blah, 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 blah. But this is the kind that I was like raised up in since birth. I'm going to go visit their congregation, and I'm actually going to be going for Bible study. I want to see what their smaller groups are about, and that gives me a chance to interact with people in the congregation on a more intimate, personal level versus just whoever talks to me at the end of service. And it gives me a chance to hear somebody other than the preacher teach a class. So that's what I'm doing today. That's the congregation I'm going to today, but I still like the church I visited last Sunday the most, which was the one that is not in the Church of Christ. It's part of the International Churches of Christ, which is a little bit different. I still like that one the most. And the thing that really stuck out to me, other than the fact that it was a very mixed congregation, I like congregations to reflect the community. That church is like 40 Black, 40 white, and then a bunch of Hispanic and Asian people, which I love because that reflects the community that we live in. I'm going to use Just a Kiss in my tear duct. It's the golden shade in here. Use this little brush I always use and apply some of this to my tear duct. I love that about this congregation. Hello, good morning, good morning. And when I went there, the vibe that I got from the people around me is that I feel like a lot of churches I go to, the vibe of the people around me is that they're content in their faith. Like they're not really trying to grow in their faith. And when I was at this congregation last week, I felt like the people genuinely were wanting to grow in their faith, that they were actively engaged with what was happening, that they weren't just going through the motions, or they weren't just there just to be there because they felt like they had to go, or that's what they've been doing for the past 40 years of their life, is they always just go to the Church of Christ or church on Sunday morning. That I didn't really get that vibe. Whereas I feel like in the Church of Christ, a lot of people are not actively engaged in what's going on. And that doesn't mean you have to say anything, but I can just tell from, are people taking notes? Are people making eye contact? Like you can tell people are just like staring, zoned out, thinking about other stuff, or if they're actively engaged. Maybe I can just tell because I'm a teacher and I have people staring at me all the time. Sometimes they're staring through you and not like looking at you, engaging with what you're saying. I felt like the people there really were like wanting to grow, and that they were excited about being there. They were just excited about being there. They wanted to be there. They didn't feel like they just had to be there. And they were excited about all of their community outreach projects and things. I don't know, it's just a really different vibe, and I really like that. I'm gonna use the same little brush and go in with Try Me and just get really close up in here. I don't know, it just felt different, and I really liked the way that I felt there. I also liked the age mix. It was racially mixed, and then it was also mixed with ages. So I would say about a third of that congregation is under 40, which is something you don't really see in churches nowadays. You see a lot of people that are middle-aged, and then a lot of people that are above 55, 60 years old, and then like a few little kids running around. But you don't really see anybody 18. Really, you don't really see too many people 16 to like 35. That group is usually poof, gone. You might see like 2 people in that age group. But here it's like, about a third of the congregation is in that younger category. And that's important to me because that means those people feel welcomed. They want to be there. They enjoy being there and they're coming back. That's important to me because I'm in that age group. And I always talk about how I feel like I can't really relate to anybody in these other churches, like in the Church of Christ, because people my age aren't really in the Church of Christ. Like most of them are just gone. I don't know where they at. They ain't there. So yeah, we're gonna visit Gold Hill Road again. I'm gonna see if I can find the other people more in my age group at this church, because I know one of the couples there. I went to college with the girl, and I went to college with her while she was dating, and then got engaged to her now husband. But she never really talks to me like that. And there's no offense to her. Like we talk kindly and cordially, but she's not like my friend. She's not really my friend. We're more so just acquaintances. So, and she's nice and all, but we don't really have a lot of common from what I know. I also went to Bible class with her, so I've like interacted with her repeatedly, So, and then a little pop in the inner corner, but not anything too bright or too crazy. I just want to do something simple and use a couple shades from that palette. Well, a shade from that palette I haven't used before. So let's do an age and race. Yes, it's so hard to find. But I was saying the church I visited last week, which is called the Charlotte Church, and they're a spinoff of the Church of Christ. They're part of the International Churches of Christ. Really, really liked it. Like I loved it. So I definitely will be going back there. Definitely going to be going back there, but I'm trying to figure out my schedule. This is so bad, but because it's not the church I was raised in, I still have my reservations. That's the word. My reservations about being a member there. I've talked to my parents about it a little bit, but they didn't really say much. How your parents, they don't approve, but they don't say it, but you kind of hear it in the tone of their voice. That's the vibe I was kind of getting from my parents. And I mean, I have my reservations too, because that's not the church I was raised in. But I really liked it. And I straight up told my parents that I will be going back. But today I'm going to go visit a Church of Christ. That's 15 minutes away from me in the TKK Fort Mill area of South Carolina. And I've been to this congregation several times. It is somewhat mixed, but it's more like a 70-30, not even that, more of a 85-15 mix, 85% white and then 15%, we'll say 10% black and then 5% not black and white. The South is still very much segregated, unfortunately. And it's a struggle, but they don't have a lot of young people, which were from every time I've sat kind of in the same spot, but I can kind of see everyone. From what I've seen, they don't really have too many young people in my age group. But the reason I even know about their congregation is because they used to have, well, they still have it. They have a ministry on the college that I went to, and I used to go to their Bible classes. I also used to go to the Bible class of the church that I really like that isn't the one I was raised in. I went to their Bible classes too while I was in college, because I saw, International Churches of Christ, that's really close to mine. Let me go see what they're about and learn, because I'm an open-minded person. I don't just dismiss you because you're not the same. I go to a non-denominational church, we'll say denomination that I'm in. But I'm not about to change completely, go to a Baptist church or a Methodist or AME or a Lutheran or Catholic, or that's too much of a drastic change, and I'm not comfortable with that. But Church of Christ and then International Churches of Christ, very, very similar in uh, their core values, just slightly different worship practices. So, yeah. Yep. So, I mean, it's been a struggle. I also am not a huge fan of like mega churches, like Elevation. No. And I know there's a lot of people that like Elevation, they go there, but I just can't with like the whole. It feels like a rock concert, and then sometimes I know that they don't even have the preacher there. They watch the preacher, the main preacher, like on a screen. So the people are gathering basically to watch the preacher on a screen. I don't really like that whole vibe either. And then I feel like some of their core beliefs don't match mine. So yeah, or the church that I was raised in. Yeah, I mean, it's like all these churches, I am being spiritually fed, but it's like it's just like with teachers, I'm trying to think of a good example. With music, musicians and artists, we all have like certain artists that we naturally like and gravitate towards. Like for me, for instance, I really love Janelle Monáe and I really like Miguel. Those are two people who I would pay to see in concert. There's not many people I would pay to see in concert. Like I like Beyonce, but I would never pay to see her in concert because I don't feel like the price is worth it, in my opinion. Like I like her, but she's not like that girl for me. Whereas Janelle Monáe, I would definitely pay to see her, even though Janelle Monáe is cheaper. No matter what the price is, even if she got as big as Beyonce one day, I'd be willing to pay the price because I like Janelle Monáe. And I feel like with different preachers, a lot of the churches, I've been to so many different churches of so many different denominations, and a lot of them, they are spiritually feeding their people. Their messages are on point. Like they're not saying anything wrong or bad at all. Like the message is good, but sometimes like this is so boring. Like because I'm a teacher and I went to college, I know how to focus in on something that I think is boring, which church is not for entertainment either, but it's just like, wow, this is so dry, you know? It's like, I don't really enjoy being here listening to you. You're not even trying to engage your audience. Like, part of being a preacher is you're a public speaker, so you need to know how to engage your audience. And just some of these churches I go to, I'm just like on the inside. But because I know church isn't for entertainment, I know how to like, pull it together, focus, and get what I need to out of the sermon and out of the message. And it's just like, why should I have to force myself to go through that? And why don't you care enough about your job to be engaging? That's how I feel about that. Like, because I'm a teacher, I speak publicly every day for a living. And I try to make sure that my lessons are not boring. If I'm not engaging, how do you expect people to learn? And why would you even expect people to come back to listen to you? And also, I feel like a lot of churches avoid talking about various topics that are important and relevant to today's society. And even though the Bible is an older text, there are so many things that happened then that apply to now. And that's another thing I liked about the church I visited last week is they were talking about immigration. I was like, oh, this is a hot topic. Let's see what y'all have to say about this and like how you're going to use the Bible to support what you're saying. How are you using it? What context are you taking? Are you taking things out of context? Like what's going on? Like what's your opinions? Like that was super interesting to me. And everything they said was like spot on with what the Bible says and spot on with how I think we should be treating people that come to our country. And it was just like, wow, y'all are not afraid to talk about controversial things and you're not afraid to be honest about it, regardless of maybe the political views of some of the individuals in the congregation. So that was really nice. I didn't even tell you what I used. I just used the Lancome Sills Booster Lash Primer, and now I'm going in with the Maybelline The Falsies Push-Up Angel Mascara. I don't know. It's just been difficult. But I don't know. I'm not giving up on the Church of Christ 100% because I'm going to visit one today. But it's just like, I'm really having to do the most to figure all this out. And it's funny when I try and talk to people at these churches that are like 85%. Yes, that's what they're doing. Boldly proclaiming what the Lord says about current events. I feel like a lot of churches shy away from that. Or they form their opinions not based on God's word, but their own emotions and their own opinions, and leave like the Bible and God's point of view out of it, which I don't like. So yeah. But wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm not giving up on the Church of Christ completely, but I might need to supplement, you know. So I don't know. We'll see. All right. After this, I'm gonna do my hair and then I'll figure out what lip I want to wear. Do I want to wear something red to kind of go with the eyes? Do I want to wear nude? Do I want to wear dark brown? Do I want to wear brown? I don't know. Something pink? I don't even know. But yeah, it's just been difficult. It's a lot, you know. You already show what's in your box charm. I haven't gotten my box yet. I did not get it yet. So I think it's supposed to be here by Tuesday. So when I get it, I will show you. Yeah. I think there's gonna be a Tarte palette, maybe some skincare thing, a hairspray, some sort of lippy, and then maybe something else, I think. So I remember correctly. But yeah, I haven't received it yet. But when I do, I'll show y'all. For sure. I just got mascara all on my lower lash line, but I don't feel like fixing it. So we're gonna leave it there. Yeah, I know I'm getting the volume 3, I think, of that palette. Yeah, I'm not really. It's kind of neutral, boring. I might end up just giving it away, probably to Jackie, my best friend Jackie, because that's up her alley. She's very neutral with her makeup. She doesn't experiment at all. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to her. My sister already has enough palettes for me, so that's why I'm like, I'll give it to Jackie. She would enjoy it. All right, I'm done applying mascara. That primer makes such a difference. Let me tell you, it works great in combination with any mascara. And I just really like this mascara because it does not get clumpy, as you can see. All right. But I guess compare all Juvia's Place. Yeah, I love Juvia's Place. I have almost all of their palettes. I love them so much. Whew, I'm in here sweating. This light, I only have one light. I don't know how people like with the whole full setup do it, because I have one light in my bathroom that's on me and I am burning up. She burning up. All right, what am I gonna put on my lips? Let's do, should I wear Seduction to church? That's the name of this lippy. I always feel strange when I wear lippies like Seduction or I don't know, any sort of name like that to church. We're gonna wear Seduction. This is a Milani Amore Shine. I love this formula. Because it's a gloss, but it's really opaque. But they're really comfortable and they don't dry your lips out. Ooh. I'm just now starting to get more into doing like all matte looks. So I did not pick up the Warrior 2. I had the Warrior 1, but it's very neutral, so I ended up giving it to my sister. She loves it. But I just find I don't need any more neutral palettes. Like I have all the neutral colors I could ever want or need. I said I was going to do my hair before the lip, but I chose the lip relatively quickly. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, yeah. I like this lip. It's called Seduction. Like I said, I love these because they are not drying and it's an opaque gloss, which I love. Perfect with the look. Let's do the hair. So for my hair, I'm doing a chunky braid out, but let me tell you how it started. So I did a wash and go Thursday, but I had it pulled back into a slick low ponytail for Thursday night. So Friday, all day Friday. And then most of the day Saturday at like noon, I decided, let me take this ponytail out and let the center of my hair dry. So I had my hair in 2 plaits on the sides so the center of my hair could dry, because I like to do my slick ponytail on very wet, very damp hair. And then that night, well, after I let it dry for a little bit, I was like, ooh, let me do a chunky braid out with just 4 braids. So I have 1, 2, and then 3, 4 braids. And this is going to be a chunky braid out. As you can see, my hair is very shiny and it's very moisturized. But y'all, I have a bald spot. I showed my parents. I have this bald spot, like, where is it? That's not it. Here we go. Like right here. Can y'all see it right there? I got a bald spot. I don't know how I got it, but when I was parting my hair with the zigzag, I wanted to make it more angled and it went right through the bald spot. And I was like, where my hair went? But, you know, I'm not really concerned. I have hair to cover it up. I don't really stress about that stuff. Now, if it gets bigger, then I will be stressed. But all I did for this braid out was I applied oil to my hair and the slightest a bit of water on the very, very end so that the ends could have a curl. And that's it. So I did 4 plaits and we're just going to unbraid it and see what it looks like. But now y'all know about my bald spot. And the top of my hair is pretty straight because I had it pulled back in the ponytail. So the ends were still curly. Nola June, I think, is in the living room. She was barking at the very beginning of this video, but she's probably asleep, chilling. She sleeps normally like 16 hours a day. Like when I'm not home, she just sleeps. And I'll be able to confirm that pretty soon because for Christmas, my parents got me a camera so that I can watch her. And I can also like talk to her through it. Like there's like an app I can put on my phone with the camera, and then like if she's acting up or something, I could be like, Nola June in my phone and she'll hear it here. And I was like, that is so funny. That'll be so funny. But yeah, she's laying down, probably, I think she's in the living room. All right, last braid. Yeah, she's probably gonna be looking around like when I start calling her name. And it's gonna be funny because I'll be at school, so I'll probably show the kids. Because they love my dog. I made it very clear that she might try and bite them, so. All right, my hair smells so good. The oil I use in my hair smells so good. All right, this is interesting. The top is so flat because it's so straight at the top, but. So this is how this chunky braid out turned out. I'm just kind of, yeah, she's in the living room. I hear her moving. Separating, but not trying to create too much frizz. smells so good. That oil smells so good. Yes, it's cute. It's very warm on my face. Very, very warm. It is really rainy though outside. So my fear is that if I leave it down like this, my hair is going to start to shrink up. Let's see the back. I have a line down the back, I'm sure. But yeah, all I did was apply some oil, a little bit of water, and I lightly detangled with a wide tooth comb before I made the 4 plaits. But yeah, this is what it looks like. But like I said, it's raining, so I think I'm just gonna literally just wear it in a little ponytail again. But I'm gonna do it looser. I'm not gonna do it super duper tight. And I'm gonna use my silk scrunchie. One time, 2 times. That should be good. I'm not gonna worry about like slicking it down. Is it cold? It is, I think, 34, 35 degrees outside right now. What? I have this piece of hair going across my eyeball. Oh, it's still attached to my head. It's like 35 degrees outside. I think the high today is like 45, which to me, 45 is not super duper duper cold. That's when I start to be like, okay, time to go inside. Like if I have band and we're outside on 45-degree weather, I'm like, this is not fun. But like just going to and from my car or whatever, or in and out of places, 45 is not bad in my opinion. But relative to 75 degrees, yes, it is cold here. Yeah, it's starting to get cold. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave this in a poofy little low ponytail. I'm not even gonna worry about making it perfect or anything. Like this is the look. I'm gonna put on some nice earrings and get dressed and then head out. Perfect timing. Hope you guys have a superb Sunday. Enjoy that 75-degree weather here in South Carolina. It is not. Enjoyed this look and seeing how my hair turned out. And yeah, it's probably going to be even more frizzy and poofy because, like I said, it's raining outside. So, oh well, I'll just adjust and adapt. Again, thank you so much for watching. Have a superb Sunday, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.